We spend so much of our day online, but we almost never talk about the unwritten rules that sort of govern how we all act. So today, we're going to break down that essential code of digital conduct, Netiquette.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You type out a quick message, you hit send, and then, bam, you're suddenly caught in a total misunderstanding. The other person thinks you're angry or maybe being sarcastic, when really you were just trying to be quick. This highlights a really fundamental gap in how we communicate online.
And that, right there, is where this whole concept of netiquette comes into play. It's pretty simple, really, a combination of internet and etiquette. It's basically the set of best practices that helps us all navigate the digital world a little more smoothly and, respectfully.
But listen, this isn't just about being nice online. It's bigger than that. Think of it more like a shared code of conduct. When we all kind of agree to follow these guidelines, the entire digital space just becomes way more productive and positive for literally everyone involved.
But why is this so critical? I mean, why can't we just communicate online the same way we do in person? Well, that brings us right to the core of the issue, what we call the communication gap.
Okay, so when we talk face-to-face, we're relying on this whole other layer of nonverbal cues, right? You've got facial expressions, body language, the tone of your voice. But in a text or an email, poof, all of that just disappears. That is the communication gap, and it's exactly where a simple message can get dangerously misinterpreted.
And the result of that misinterpretation? Well, that's how we get what the internet famously calls flame wars. You know what I'm talking about, those super intense, heated arguments that just spiral out of a tiny misunderstanding. They just create a ton of stress and negativity for everybody. It's a perfect example of why these unwritten rules are so important.
So how do we avoid these pitfalls? How do we sidestep all that drama? Well, let's dive into the Netiquette playbook and see how we can master this digital code of conduct with just a few simple but really powerful rules.
All right, let's start with the absolute fundamentals. First, the golden rule, it still applies online. Always remember there's a real human on the other side of that screen. Second, clarity is everything. Simple things like using good spelling and grammar go a long way in preventing confusion. Also, try to be concise. It just respects people's time. And finally, you have got to be so careful with sarcasm. That dry wit that works so well in person, it can easily be taken as genuine criticism online. Trust me on that one.
And here's a very specific but very important one. I'm serious. Just avoid typing in all caps. Unless you actually want to shout through the screen, it just comes across as aggressive. And honestly, it's just plain difficult to read.
This is a huge one. It's so easy to forget that the internet has like a permanent memory. That careless comment you made or that angry post. It can follow you for years, maybe resurfacing during a job search or in a future relationship. This quote is such a powerful reminder to always think before you hit send, both for your own sake and to respect the privacy of other people.
All of this feeds into a much bigger idea, building communities we can all trust. Good netiquette means respecting people's privacy, giving credit where it's due, and just being patient with opinions that are different from yours. The internet connects us with people from all over the world, so being mindful of cultural differences is absolutely key to making those connections actually work.
Okay, so we've got the rules down, but what's the bigger picture here? Let's zoom out a bit and see how all this connects to the future of our online world, and more importantly, how we build relationships within it.
I mean, the web has changed so dramatically. We've gone from what we call Web 1.0, which was basically a giant digital library where we just read information, to Web 2.0 and 3.0, where we are all active creators, collaborators, and participants. Our ability to interact directly with each other has just exploded, which makes these rules of engagement more critical than ever before.
And really, that's what it all comes down to. This isn't just a list of don'ts. The real purpose of Netiquette is actually really positive. It's all about using these guidelines to build real, meaningful connections and to create online spaces that are welcoming, supportive, and, collaborative for everybody. So, I'll leave you with this thought. Every single email you send, every comment you post, it's like a tiny building block in our shared digital world. Practicing good netiquette gives each and every one of us the power to make our little corner of the internet a better place. So the real question is, what kind of world will you choose to build?